Business News.
The Business News headlines is brought to you by CBX Wealth Management, making more possible.
Billion-dollar rebuild, Agri-Relief Fund launched, and Wall Street warning. Good evening and welcome to CBX Business News for Tuesday, November 4, 2025. I'm Rochelle Moncrief. Thanks for joining us. Coming up in the newscast, locally, NWC's hurricane recovery costs climb to $500 million as the company eyes an island-wide re-network modernization. On the regional front, the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture launches an emergency fund to support Caribbean farmers in the wake of Hurricane Melissa. And over on the global stage, Wall Street chiefs warn of a market correction as U.S. stocks slide. Stay tuned as we unpack these stories and more right after the break.
Wealth is not simply counted in dollars or cents, but in the time we spend with love, in love, giving love. Wealth is not simply a means to an end. It is the means to live out loud. Wealth is more than money. It's about family, the memories you create, the legacy you leave behind, and your ability to enjoy life in the moment. It's also about seeing the QMAX possibilities and seizing investment opportunities to achieve the future you want and deserve. Which is why QMAX Wealth will focus on your investments so you can experience more. Because true wealth is truly more. To start investing today, call 876-926-7767.
So much book you need for high school?
I'll show you how to make sure you have all the money for my books and even some extra. It's called budgeting, Dad. Making a budget is the most important thing you can do to track your money. It keeps a record of how much you make, how much you spend, where you spend it, and most importantly, how much you can save. Write down all your income, write down all your expenses, see where you can cut down and allot more money to more important things, like saving.
It's feeling so good right now. Feeling so good right now. Yeah, yeah. It's feeling so good right now. Feeling so good right now. Yeah, yeah. It's feeling so good right now. Don't never ever ever wanna calm down. Oh no, no. Yeah, yeah,
Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances Limited has been a part of Jamaica's manufacturing landscape for over 20 years. By crafting unique flavors and fragrances, we have become a part of your favorite household and food items such as beverages, ice cream, household cleaners, and much more. Known throughout the Caribbean for the highest quality, we continue to innovate with strong leadership, a dedicated team with integrity. We go the extra mile for our customers. Create the next taste sensation. Contact us at 876-9235-111 or visit our website, Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn pages.
Caribbean dreams, instant turmeric tea. What you put in is what you get out. What you put in is what you get out. Yeah. Build up your body, boost up your brain. Take on the world now. Say bye bye pain. Dreams, instant turmeric tea. Be good to you. Caribbean Dreams, instant turmeric tea. Distributed by Amalgamated Distributors Limited.
Your garden coming along well.
Thanks, man. You know, it's a long time I've been working at it.
I can see that. I saw your mail by the gate, so I'll pick it up for you. But tell me something. Why are you still receiving dividend checks by mail?
What do you mean about that?
You need to give JCST a mandate.
You know, me hear about the mandate them. I'm going over there right now.
A mandate means giving instructions to the Jamaica Central Securities Depository Limited, JCST, relating to the handling of your dividend or interest payment. There are 3 types of mandates. The first is a bank mandate. The second is a hold mandate. Lastly, we have what we call a third-party mandate, with which the investor may wish to send their dividend or interest to someone other than the parties on their account or institution of their choice.
Fesco started from 5 shareholders who believe that they could execute a fuel company as good as or as better than any multinational. The director shareholders always believe that the dealers within our network should be owners of the company. They believe that staff should be owners of the company. And specifically also believe that the public should become shareholders. That cannot be facilitated by a bank loan. Our experience so far has translated into additional customers. Our transparency has allowed us to access credit easier and at better rates. So if you're a private company thinking about growing your profits, having better access to capital, I really think you should consider listing on the junior or the main market. Go ahead, have that conversation as soon as possible. We did it and we're very happy.
Are so much book you need for high school?
I'll show you how to make sure you have all the money for my books and even some extra. It's called budgeting, Dad. Making a budget is the most important thing you can do to track your money. It keeps a record of how much you make, how much you spend, where you spend it, and most importantly, how much you can save. Write down all your income, write down all your expenses, see where you can cut down and allot more money to more important things, like saving.
We get it! We get the big contract! 50,000 units a month for 3 years! Great! Oh, need help!
If you are a business owner that requires capital for the expansion of your business, talk to a registered broker today to find out more about listing your company on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, an efficient alternative to other financing options.
Thank God for the Jamaica Stock Exchange Junior Market.
The Jamaica Stock Exchange, providing a fair, efficient, and transparent stock market.
The local news is brought to you by Darriman Trading. Better from the start. Development Bank of Jamaica, facilitating economic growth and development. Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances, tease the senses. And Pulse Investments.
To CBX Business News. We begin with a CBX Business News exclusive from one of the island's largest service providers. The National Water Commission, NWC, says the cost of repairing damage from Hurricane Melissa could climb into the billions of dollars, with an estimated $500 million already spent to fix two major transmission lines in western Jamaica. Speaking with CBX's Rondine Williams earlier today, NWC's acting corporate public relations manager, Delano Williams, noted that the commission's preliminary tally covers major restoration works at the Great River and Martha Brae facilities, two of the most critical water systems serving St. James, Hanover, and Trelawney.
And let's talk a little bit about just the overall cost of this recovery process. It's growing, but I suspect it will be in the billions for us in terms of just the infrastructural replacement cost. Already the two legs that we undertook at Great River and the Martha Brae lines will cost somewhere above $500 million. And we still have not substantially gone through the other parishes or the sections of those parishes that are significantly damaged. So it's ongoing. What we can tell you is that there is a commitment to continue to build out our network so it has greater resilience. So our positioning of generators has ensured that we have been able to respond to 65% as at today, even while some of those communities are waiting for power supply. And that is important because it means we are not dependent on one source of power.
Williams says the biggest ongoing constraint remains electricity supply, which is crucial to restarting more than 600 NWC facilities island-wide. He notes that the NWC plans to position more permanent and mobile generators at critical plants to reduce dependence on the public grid and to strengthen climate resilience.
In the months and years to come, we'll be positioning more generators at critical facilities and also have mobile generators that allow us to move it to Spanish Town today, and if needed in Westmoreland tomorrow, it can be brought down and installed and operated until it's needed. All right? And that's where we're going. Our entire island is now on track for what we will potentially call a ring network similar to what is in London. It allows us at this very point, we can move water from the network in Logwood, which serves Negril, all the way to St. Anne's, which is Discovery Bay. Our work in St. Anne's Bay in the next several months will allow us to be able to move that same drop of water from Negril all the way to Buff Bay in Portland. So that's the extent of the infrastructural build-out that the NWC is undertaking. Similar projects are being undertaken on the South Coast, and the interlinkages will come into play as these progress to completion.
And the NWC has so far restored 65% of its national water grid following the devastating passage of Hurricane Melissa.
So we've currently restored 65% of our total grid network. We have over 350,000 customers that have been restored for water supply. That is still pending another 190,000 who are waiting for water supply or who may be getting little water supply at this time. Our work therefore continues. We are targeting the western parishes, obviously, where the average response or restoration levels are between 25 and 30%. And this is for Hanover, Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, sections of Manchester. To a lesser extent also, our Trelawney parish has also been impacted. But I want to make the point that our major systems in practically all of these parishes are running. Where we have challenges are as you go further inland from the main roadways where access is now and still is a problem. And it takes a lot of work both from the NWC and also from the other agencies that are responding, mainly NWA, ODPEM, the brigade and so on, who are working to clear trees, down power lines, and whatever other impediment is proving to be a challenge for us to get to our facilities.
Meanwhile, the National Water Commission, NWC, has ruled out any immediate increase in water bills following the widespread damage caused by Hurricane Melissa. Acting Corporate Public Relations Manager Delano Williams says customers will not see higher charges in the short term as the agency focuses all efforts on restoring service to affected households and businesses.
In terms of water bills, we do not have any changes in the charges for water bills at this time. Anything that's coming will be sometime down the road. We are just working with you now to get through this. So for persons who have any concerns about their water bills, please feel free to reach out to us. If you are estimated, then typically we do review the periods of no supply. The other persons, their water meter should accurately capture exactly what they have gotten or not gotten over the period of the passage of the storm and the subsequent period until water has come back.
That was NWC's Acting Corporate Public Relations Manager, Delano Williams. The Jamaica Stock Exchange, JSE, is mobilizing humanitarian and reconstruction support in the wake of Hurricane Melissa. In an exclusive interview with CBX's Rondine Williams today, JSE CEO Livingston Morrison expressed a deep concern for the widespread devastation. He says the JSE has begun collaborating with established networks to channel immediate relief to communities most affected.
Of course, as a corporate citizen, we are committed to doing what we can to help. Of course, we spend some time just making sure that our staff members and their families are safe, and we're happy that we're able to get the team back out and committed to continuing to serve in our area of responsibility. But while we're doing that, trying to make sure that the team here at base is okay, we're reaching out to our partners, a few of our partners, working with them to ensure that we can lend support those who are badly affected. We have made a decision to pretty much leverage the work and the infrastructure that has been created by Food for the Poor and also United Way. These are two entities, two of many, I must admit, but they work tirelessly and diligently to provide relief where relief is necessary.
He also urged a long-term plan to rebuild Jamaica's towns and urban centers to withstand future climate shocks.
This particular hurricane reminds us that probably none of them are fit for purpose. There have been, economic activities at a level that town centers just can't support anymore. And I don't need to call the names, just think of all the towns across Jamaica and you recognize that we have a lot of work to do. We're probably thinking about a 20-25 year plan of reconstructing the towns across Jamaica in a way that would not only make them more resilient, but also fit for purpose.
That was JSE CEO Livingston Morrison. In other news, JP Logistics Solutions, a subsidiary of the Pan Jamaica Group, has launched an emergency logistics initiative to accelerate the shipment of relief supplies to Jamaica following the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa. The multinational freight forwarder, which operates across the UK, United States, and the wider Caribbean, has pledged $5 million in container space to transport high-priority aid as part of the country's official recovery effort. The move comes amid mounting demand for fast and coordinated delivery of relief materials to affected parishes. Managing Director Gary Phillips said the company's operational strength is being redirected toward humanitarian recovery. JP Logistics Solutions is collaborating closely with Jamaica's consulates in the UK and Miami to expedite shipments and ensure seamless coordination with the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM. The initiative will support the consolidation of relief goods from the Jamaican diaspora and international partners. We move to the latest updates from the JSE equities. In Tuesday's trading session, the JSE market activity resulted in the trading of 105 stocks, of which 45 advanced, 41 declined, and 19 traded firm. Leading the winners are Knutsford Express Services, Atlantic Hardware and Plumbing Company, A.S. Bryden & Sons Holdings, and Lumber Depot. While leading the losers are Caribbean Assurance Brokers, Blue Power Group, Epley Caribbean Property Fund SCC, and Sagicor Select Funds Financial. The main index advanced by 435.55 points or 0.14% to close at 320,208.48 points. The junior market index advanced by 50.37 points or 1.51% to close at 3,390.40 points.
And it's time for Market Education Feature, brought to you by CariCris, Regional Ratings, Global Standard.
In today's Market Education Feature, we're discussing Disaster Risk Financing, or DRF. Disaster risk financing is an approach that helps governments manage the financial impact of disasters by using pre-arranged financial tools and risk layering strategies. The goal is to ensure quick access to funds for response, recovery, and reconstruction after major events. Many countries are now adopting proactive, cost-effective financing plans that protect national budgets while safeguarding lives and livelihoods. DRF complements broader disaster management efforts, including preparedness, risk reduction, and resilient recovery.
The Market Education Feature was brought to you by CariCris, Regional Ratings, Global Standards.
And that's it for the local news segment. Please stay with us. The regional news is up next.
Local news is brought to you by Diamond Trading, better from the start. Development Bank of Jamaica, facilitating economic growth and development. Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances, tease the senses. And Pulse Investments.
Mikey, is what sweet you saw?
Yeah, dear babes. Where is Kathy? And you go party tonight?
Party? You secure your future yet? Careless.
Did you know that over time the stock market has provided a reliably high return on investments? Be sure to contact a licensed stockbroker for more information on this exciting investment opportunity.
Taking care of business, Mikey?
Yeah, Kathy. I'm securing my future. Want to come look over my stock portfolio?
The Jamaica Stock Exchange, providing a fair, efficient, and transparent stock market.
And now for the regional business news. The Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, IICA, has established an emergency fund to support the agricultural recovery of the 4 Caribbean nations hardest hit by Hurricane Melissa: the Bahamas, Jamaica, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic. IICA Director General Manuel Otero announced the initiative from San Jose, Costa Rica, describing it as a rapid action-oriented response to the devastation caused by the Category 5 storm. Each of the affected governments have already received extraordinary funds aimed at restoring farm operations, protecting livelihoods, and rebuilding key agricultural infrastructure. According to Otero, IICA delegations in each country are working closely with national ministries of agriculture to determine the most efficient mechanisms for disbursing the resources. The agency emphasized that the aid is designed to go directly toward restoring productivity in rural areas. The move comes as agricultural communities across the region face widespread crop loss, livestock damage, and a disruption to food supply chains. IICA underscored that the Caribbean requires special attention given its high vulnerability to natural disasters, dependence on food imports, and smaller-scale farming systems that are often less resilient to shocks. As the region prepares for the Belém Climate Summit and COP30 in Brazil, the Caribbean Climate Justice Alliance, CCJA, is calling for a major shift in how climate finance is delivered, placing stronger emphasis on transparency, predictability, and direct access for frontline communities. In its COP30 position statement, the CCJA urged Caribbean governments and international partners to ensure that climate finance is predictable, programmatic, and transparent, and that funding mechanisms reach the local level to meet the needs of frontline communities, micro and small enterprises, and civil society organizations. The alliance said finance must be part of a whole of society and a rights-based approach that advances just gender-responsive and inclusive climate action. It emphasized that money pledged through global funds must not remain locked in complex systems, but instead flow directly to those most affected by the climate crisis. According to the CCJA, Caribbean countries need access to simplified and flexible financing mechanisms to strengthen community-based adaptation and resilience. The organization also highlighted the need for innovative solutions, such as the proposed Caribbean SIDS Climate Premium, to channel resources efficiently and incentivize sustainable investments. In other news, after 8 decades as one of the Caribbean's most recognized retail brands, Standard Distributors Limited is being sold by Ansa McCall Limited to Term Finance Trinidad and Tobago Limited, marking the end of an era in regional commerce. In a statement issued Monday, Ansa McCall confirmed it has entered into an agreement to sell Standard Distributors Limited and its Barbados subsidiary to Term Finance, a move the group says aligns with its strategic portfolio optimization and a 2X growth agenda. Group CEO Anthony N. Sabga III called the sale the close of an extraordinary chapter, while praising Standard's legacy of quality, dedication, and connection. He emphasized that the group remains proud of the brand's contribution to Caribbean life and grateful to the customers and employees who sustained it. The transaction is expected to close by December 31, 2025, pending regulatory and customary conditions. Standard's retail operations officially ceased on November 1, but its service obligations and hire purchase agreements will continue under Term Finance's ownership. Ansel McCall says the buyer plans to evolve the operation into a credit and e-commerce platform, leveraging Standard's 80-year expertise in hire purchase to offer new consumer credit products across its branch network in Trinidad and Tobago. It's now time for news from the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 19 securities, of which 1 advanced, 8 declined, and 10 traded firm. The sole winner today is Angostura Holdings, while leading the losers are Unilever Caribbean, National Enterprises, Trinidad and Tobago NGL, and One Caribbean Media. Trading activity resulted in the following movements. The All-TNT Index declined by 2.64 points to close at 1,378.82. The Composite Index declined by 1.37 points to close at 954.56. The Cross-Listed Index remained at 70.04. The SME Index remained at 97.70. And we take a short break, but please do stay with us. The international news segment is
It's feeling so good right now. Feeling so good right now. Yeah, yeah. It's feeling so good right now. Feeling so good right now. Yeah, yeah. It's feeling so good right now. Don't never, ever, ever wanna calm down. No, no, no. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
back. In international news, stocks in the United States tumbled on Tuesday after warnings from leading Wall Street executives that the record-breaking market rally could be running out of steam. The S&P 500 fell nearly 1%, the Nasdaq dropped 1.6%, and the Dow slipped 0.5% after CEOs from Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs cautioned that equity markets were at risk of a correction. Morgan Stanley's Ted Pick says investors should expect 10 to 15% drawdowns, while Goldman's David Solomon described tech valuations as full. The comments come as AI-fueled optimism drives record highs across major indexes. Tech shares led the losses, with the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index down 2.8% and 6 of the Magnificent 7 stocks in negative territory. And from the sell-off on Wall Street to a major shakeup in China's consumer market, Starbucks is selling control of its China operations to Boyu Capital in a US $4 billion deal, marking one of the largest divestments by a Western consumer brand in years. Under the agreement, Boyu will take a 60% stake in a new joint venture, while Starbucks retains 40% and continues licensing its brand and intellectual property. The Seattle-based coffee giant has struggled against fast-growing local competitors Luckin Coffee and Coty, whose cut-price drinks cost less than US $1.50, a third of Starbucks' average. CEO Brian Niccol says the deal will help Starbucks expand from 8,000 to more than 20,000 stores across China. But analysts note its market share has dropped sharply from 34% in 2019 to 14% last year. Boyu Capital, whose founders include the grandson of a former Chinese president, is expected to accelerate growth in smaller cities and strengthen local partnerships. While Starbucks pivots in China, another global heavyweight is facing investor backlash, this time over executive pay. Norway's $2 trillion sovereign wealth fund, the world's largest, has voted against Elon Musk's $1 trillion Tesla pay package, challenging the company's board ahead of its shareholder meeting. The fund, managed by Norges Bank Investment Management, says it's concerned about the total size of the award, dilution, and lack of key person risk mitigation. Tesla's board wants approval for a deal that could grant Musk nearly $1 trillion in stock over 10 years if performance goals are met. Major proxy advisors ISS and Glass Lewis have also recommended voting against it, while Musk hit back, calling them corporate terrorists. This marks the second time Norway's fund has opposed Musk's pay, after rejecting a $56 billion plan last year, still the largest compensation deal in corporate history. China has announced a major new program to boost imports from trading partners seeking to ease fears that its exports are crowding out foreign industries. The country's premier launched the initiative called Big Market for All, Export to China, just ahead of the China International Import Expo in Shanghai. The Commerce Minister says the annual event will actively respond to trade partners' demands and concerns. The move follows mounting Western criticism of China's export dominance in sectors like EVs, steel, and solar manufacturing. Foreign firms welcomed the initiative. CEO of Milk New Zealand Dairy Limited says we have full confidence in the Chinese market and the CIIE platform. China's economy grew 5.2% in the first 9 months of the year as it transitions from being the world's factory to what officials call a global innovation lab. And that's it for the international segment of the newscast. The news recap is coming up on the other side.
We're here to open a savings account for my son John. I really want him to start saving and managing his own money.
And I need for Safe to visit my father in New York.
Okay, based on what you said and our risk assessment, he will qualify for simplified customer due diligence requirements. I'll need your ID, proof of income, TRN, and John's ID as well.
Okay, here you go.
Opening an account is easier than you think using simplified customer due diligence requirements, also called CDD.
NWC's hurricane recovery cost stands at $500 million, eyes island-wide re-network modernization. Regionally, IICA launches emergency fund to support Caribbean agriculture after Hurricane Melissa. And internationally, Wall Street chiefs warn of market correction as U.S. stocks slide. Those were the stories making today's CBX Evening News. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Rachel Moncrief. Thanks for watching CBX, your region, your business, your source.
Hi, I'm Sophrony McKenzie, founder and CEO of Visu Eats. You're watching CBX, your